Namaskar. Today is my first day of Namaskar, which streaming. Today is my first day of Namaskar, which streaming. Today is my first day of Namaskar, which streaming. Today. Desktop sound can reverberate. Is there that much noise always? I hope it's better now. Always. I hope it's better now. Yeah, I think it's better. So, Namaskar. It's my first attempt to stream on Twitch, in general streaming. So the main intent for this stream is, from now onwards I will be going to document my journey of my learnings in general. I'm doing a project called as Daksh. It's a year long. It's a big project. It's a large project, and if it generates revenue, we can call it a startup also. But yeah, it is something, and I am going to document its journey of how I'm building it from scratch, and basically going to be creating documentaries, short form, long form documentaries of my journey here on Twitch and on other platforms. So I hope you enjoy this journey. Today we are kicking off with my first game in Game Maker Studio. I'm a very game fanatic. I was a very game fanatic. Then I still am. To some extent, but now I'm more interested to the other side of the game, that is game development. So I've installed Game Maker Studio, as you can see, and I'm going to follow a simple tutorial that covers a 15-minute game, which is right here. Yeah, I hope you are able to see. Yeah, so this is a classic arcade game, and we shall see how we are going to go about it.
In this video, we are going to make a game like Asteroids in 3 simple steps. We'll start with the ship's movement, we'll work on shooting and destroying rocks, and we'll create a game loop with scoring. So let's begin. Let's open Game Maker, click on New, and select this Space Rocks template. This will give you all the
Space Rocks 1. It's a thing that I do. Always the first one will be my mic. What is my source of mic here? Hello. Okay. It's my jack mic. Yeah. So my ritual to name it as Batman as the first thing. So yeah, here we have these sprites. So basically, from what I understand from my knowledge till now, is that a sprite is basically a video component or animation component of the game, which we can use it here and bring it to life. Basically, essentially, what the game development is all about is creating this interactive objects, as they have rightly named here as objects, um, and giving them some face, then some interactivity, and the list just goes on how they um, evolve over the time. But the new word to note down here, which is very important, is sprites. Let me just quickly okay. In computer graphics, a sprite is a two-dimensional bitmap that is integrated into larger scene, most often in a 2D video game. Originally, the term sprite referred to fixed size objects composed together by hardware with the background. Use of the term has been since become more general. Nice. So it's very basically computer graphic.
Images you need for your game. Then enter a name for your project here, and the asset browser here you have 4 sprites or images. So that's the bullet that you fire, the ship you fly, a big rock and a small rock. These are only images though, so let's turn them into objects that we can program to move, fly, shoot and do whatever we want. So in the asset browser, I'll click on the objects group and then go up here and select objects. I'll turn this up to 4 and hit create.
Shall we do it? Object, create, object. How did you do it all at once? I think this is the beta version, that's why.
Here and select.
Oh, it's here. Yeah. So if you create here, no objects created already. Yeah. Pardon my English because I am really uncomfortable in front of a camera as of now. But yeah, in the future, you will see the journey of how I overcome this camera fear. It's not a fear per se.
Objects. I'll turn this up to 4 and hit create. Now let's go to each object, give it a name and a sprite. I'll double click on the first one. I'll name this obj_player, so this will be the player ship. From the asset browser, I'll drag the SPR player sprite and drop it here. So we are telling GameMaker that this is what this object looks like.
Interesting. Shall we try? for this, one for rock, one for big rock, yeah, and one for small rock. Have we already completed all those? Rock pick, yeah. Bullet was remaining, I guess. Is that a bullet? Oh, it's a white pixel. Okay.
Then the second object, I'll name this obj_bullets and apply the SPR bullet sprite. And then the next object will be obj_rock. This will have the big rock sprite because rocks will be big by default. It's only when you shoot them that they become small.
Oh.
And then the final object is obj_game, and this doesn't need a sprite because it's not something that you can see in the game moving around. It's just a silent object that does its own thing in the background, and we'll be using it later in this video.
Interesting. So we have this object 1, object 2. I have to rename. Object player. Big rock. But that means we have to create another.
So we have the objects background, and we'll be using it later in this video. It's only when you shoot them that they become small. And then the next object will be obj_rock. This will have the big rock sprite because rocks will be big by default. It's only when you shoot them that they become small. And then the final object is obj_game, and this doesn't need a sprite because it's not something that you can see in the game. Moving around, using it later in this video. So we have the objects. Let's put them on the screen so the player can see it. The way you do that is by using a room. So open the room that's already there in the asset browser. Now this is the area that you see in the game, and you can put any objects here that you want in your game. But before doing that, I'll go into the room settings and change the size to 1000 by 1000, so it's a simple square. If you don't see these options, just click on the room in the asset browser and then you'll see them.
Basically we are trying to set the canvas of the project, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, this is the canvas.
Now if you want to put anything in a room, it has to go into a layer. You can see all of your layers here, and the one where you want to put your objects is the instances layer. So select that, and then from your objects, drag the player into the room. I'll also drag some rocks.
Oh, that is so satisfying. I can just expand it, make it mega small. Yeah, it's nice.
And place around 6 of them. Now something interesting here is that each rock you placed in the room is an instance of its object. So here there are 6 instances of the rock object, and that's why the layer is also called instances. So from objects, you create instances. If you run the game right now, you'll see what you put in the room, but nothing moves at all because we haven't programmed our objects yet. So back in GameMaker, let's close the room and double click on OBJ player to open it. Now click on add event and add the step event. Now click on add event and add the step event. If you're asked to choose between GML code and GML visual, select GML code if you want to write code, or select GML visual if you want to use visual blocks to program your game. Then enable Don't Ask Again for this project and hit OK. Now this is an event. You can program this event to, for example, move your ship, and that will happen every frame because this is the step event. It runs at every step. A different event might run at a different time. Let's program this event now. Now if you chose GML visual, look to the left, or if you chose GML code, then look to the right. In the event, we first want to check if the up arrow is held down. If it is, we want the
Nice. I was not audible, I guess. But yeah, I have a strong urge to choose GML code because through GML code we can do REST API calls. So imagine in future if we have a character opening a door or clicking a button, it can actually fire a REST API call to our backend server and fetch data from there. So we don't need to put data in the game itself, and this is just mind-blowing feature of game maker, and I was just dreaming of some possibility of this, and that is one of the reasons I chose game maker studio as the software to start gaming in, because it is going to be a very important part of the game. Yeah, for now let's go with GML visual. Okay,
Ship to move.
if key down. VK up.
So to make the ship accelerate forwards, we want to do this. But keep in mind, when adding this action in GML visual, make sure you're dropping it to the right of the green action. And that's because the green action is a condition and you can attach actions to it, and those actions will only run if the condition is true.
Beautiful. Beautiful. They are making it's like it's like Scratch on steroids. It's like in the industrial level Scratch. You know what is Scratch? It is a very good basic drag drop programming, just like this GML visual, where you can just drag drop and create a program or game out of it. Yeah, this is very similar to it.
So attach it there. And here we are running the motion add function. This basically adds motion to the instance in a particular direction, and that direction in this case is the image angle of the instance.
Oh, auto completion. Nice.
That's how much the sprites of the instance has turned around. So we add motion in that direction, and the amount of motion we add is 0.1. So you can change this if you want to make the ship slower or faster. This will make your ship move, but you can't turn yet, so let's work on that. Let's add a condition to check if the left arrow key is held down. In that case, we'll increase the image angle variable by 4, which will turn the sprite.
Relative is important. See what we did there. This relative button is very important because it won't be an absolute like a clock. It should be relative to its current position.
Right to the left. Then we check if the right arrow key is held down, and in that
This guy is just going on adding.
case, angle variable by 4, which will turn the sprite to the left. Then we check if the right arrow
What if the player is pressing both at the same time? That kind of questions are my type of questions.
key is held down, and in that case
Oh, sorry. Are you able to see the...
we decrease the image angle value by 4, which will turn the sprite to the right. So run the game and you can now move and turn. It's almost perfect, but the problem is that if you go outside the room, you're basically lost. You never come back.
I would like to try that. I think we have to go to the room. Okay. Okay, we got our first errors. Compile errors. Okay, where can we play this? I thought we could play this in the room. Failed. Yes. We'll troubleshoot that later.
We want to wrap around the room, so if the ship goes out from one end, it comes back from the opposite end. So for that, back in the step event, just add this outside of any conditions. This enables wrapping horizontally and vertically, and if you run the game, you'll see it in action. You now can't exit the room at all. And with this, our first step is finished. We've got
Great. But I'm not able to play it. Why is that? There is some error. we might not be able to solve and run it in Ubuntu, because I am using Ubuntu, guys. I'm using Ubuntu. This might cost me because the Game Maker Studio version in here is in beta and they don't guarantee. That might be a sad part if this doesn't run. Okay.
The ship to move and turn, and now what we want to work on is shooting and destroying the rocks. Now to add shooting, we want to create an instance of obj bullet at the ship's location when we press the left mouse button. So back in the same step event of the player, let's add another condition to check if the left mouse button was pressed. This only checks if the left mouse button was just pressed, so holding it will not continue to fire. If the button was pressed, we create an instance of obj bullet. It will be created at the location of the player and in the instances layer. And with this, you can now shoot with the left mouse button, but of course the bullet doesn't go anywhere because it's not programmed to move.
It's so beautiful to see the progression in which we are developing this game. I just wish I could run it. There are no compilers. Please run. So basically there are no compile errors. Because it is a new sudo apt-get install. Everything can be done with using sudo apt-get install. Okay, we'll go with workaround. It's nice to see workaround does not work. Do you need Steam for this? Exactly, there is no Steam runtime. Okay, let's troubleshoot it later.
Let's go into obj bullets and here add the create event. This event only runs once.
Maybe I missed a fundamental step.
And it runs when the instance is created. In this event, we are going to set the speed of the instance to 10, so it
No, it's
moves in its direction at a speed of 10 pixels per frame. And then we are setting the direction to the image angle of the player. So the bullet moves in the direction that the player is facing in. Now you will be able to shoot moving bullets, but once they go outside the room, they'll continue to exist forever, and that's not good. So once they go outside the room, we want to destroy them. So in the events, add a new event. Go under Other and select Outside Room. In this event, let's simply destroy the instance.
Yeah, destruction.
So when the bullet does go outside the room, it's destroyed immediately. Run the game and you can now shoot freely wherever you want. So you got the core parts of your game finished, and what we'll work on next is destroying the rocks.
It's very interesting, but I'm not able to run the game. First thing, there are no compile logs. Ooh, I didn't follow the setup instructions. This article is we will give required steps to set up Ubuntu platform up and running for all the Windows, Mac and the Ubuntu beta IDEs. Please see the Ubuntu section of our required SDK features. So we should be using in this carrying. Oh yo. Okay. Target. Oh, the target should be, you need to be signed in to export this to your sign in your Opera account. Cancel. Okay. This should be ideally Ubuntu. This is how you export the game. Okay. Okay. So this should be Ubuntu. Sign in, yeah. Why not? Why not? Is it set? Come on, I just did it. First of all, why is this error code is missing? So target should be correct. This is build your game using compiled native code. Build your game using interpreted code. Okay. I just want to run the game. You don't probably have to do that if you are not using Ubuntu machine. It's just me who uses Ubuntu and shoot myself in my foot, but the feeling is nice. I use Linux, by the way, not yet an Arch player. Okay. I have almost all of these external libraries, but I didn't realize that I need to do a separate setup for Ubuntu. Okay, let's install. Sorry. Great. So few of them were not there. Maybe if I install them, then I'll be able to build my game. Okay. Steam runtime Linux deploy and run or build for Ubuntu. I have oh, it didn't show architecture, is it? Sudo dpkg system oh print architecture AMD 64. Is that ARM? If it is, we have to switch to Windows to run our game. This is this is a new thing that I didn't know. Let's do it anyway. That's a good thing about Linux. You can do it anything anyway, even if they have told you specifically not to do it. That is how it works. Is it a very large file? I'll be damned. Okay, let's until it's downloaded. We'll continue with our
Before we try to destroy the rocks, let's give them some life by making them move around. So open obj rock and here add the create event.
OBA rock. Where is this rock?
In this event, we'll tell the rock to move in a random direction.
By the way, you hold shift to do this. You just have to scroll the mouse. I have a mouse. Yeah, and hold shift. Just a quick tip: by using by holding control and scrolling, you can do this. Yeah, just few helpful shortcuts.
First of all, let's set the speed to 1 so the rock moves at a slow pace, and then set the direction to a random value between 0 and 360, which is a full circle. And then I'll also set the image angle to a random value. So the rock will move in a random direction and its sprite will also rotate with a random angle. We also want the rocks to wrap around just like the player so they are not lost when they exit the room. So let's add the step event here. And in the event, run the same function we did in the player. However, this time we're going to set the margin value to
I like his voice.
100 instead of 0. This means that the rock will only jump to the other side of the room when it's more than 100 pixels outside of the room's boundary. Now in the same step event, we also increasing the image angle value by 1. So the rock continues to rotate and it also looks a bit more realistic. So run the game and you will see the rocks moving. When they go outside the room, they come back from the other side just like the player. Okay, so how do we destroy the rocks? When a rock and a bullet collide, we want to create a particle effect and then change the rock. So if it's a big rock, it becomes a small rock, and if it's already a small rock, then it respawns as a big rock. This way your game never ends because you never run out of any rocks. So let's go into the obj rock object and here add.
This is cheating. The game should have an end. What's the point if the rocks are being recreated again and again?
A new collision event with the obj bullet. An object And here add a new collision event with OBJ boolean
I feel
object.
I've missed it.
This event will run every collision event
Collision event bullet.
with the OBJ boolean object. This event will run every time the rock is in contact with a bullet, so you can program.
Beautiful. This is simply beautiful. GML visual is so easy to program. You just have to be good with the logic. I think this is so much related to programming and how we solve the problems, because it's not any different. It's not any different from the systems that we build. I would say this is much more interactive than the systems that we build, because here we visually know when something is supposed to happen. It's just beautiful. I already love game development.
What happens when they interact with each other? Now in the events, we first of all want to
destroy instance.
Destroy an instance, but the instance we want to destroy is the bullet, not the rock. So we apply it to the other instance.
Apply it to the other instance.
The other instance in this case is the bullet, because that's what you're colliding with. After that, we are creating an explosion effect above all objects so we can see it, and it's created at the rock's location because the rock is the one being destroyed. The size of this is medium and the color is white. Then we are again changing the direction of the rock to a random value so it moves in a different direction after being shot. Right now, if you run the game, you can shoot at a rock and see the particle effect. So what's remaining to program now is how this changes into a small rock. Back in the same events,
for even such a small game, I was surprised to know how much details we have to dive deep into to just program it. My god, yeah.
let's add a condition that checks if this is a big rock by checking its spread.
Upon we didn't name it OBJ. SPR rock pick.
Right. If it is, then we want to change it into a small rock by changing its sprite, and then we copy that instance So we get two small rocks in the end. Then we add an else. This will run if the previous condition is false, meaning the rock is small. And after the else, we add
I need another if statement.
another condition to check if the number of rocks in the room is less than 12.
Whoever designed it, it's beautiful.
We are
Thank
doing
you.
this to make sure that there aren't too many rocks in the game, making it too hard. So we are limiting the number of rocks that we can respawn. So in that case, we are going to set the sprite of the rock to the big rock, and then we are changing the x or the horizontal position to minus 100, so we send it outside the room so it can re-enter again as a new rock. Only we know it's not really a new rock instance, but the player doesn't know that.
Oh.
Now finally at the end, I'm going to add another else, and this will run if both of the previous conditions are false, meaning the rock is small and there are always 12 rocks in the room. So in that case, we just destroy
You will see me explaining like this about the game of Daksh in few months.
the instance, so it just stops existing and doesn't respawn or do anything else. Okay, so that was a large event, but we got through it. You can now run the game and destroy the rocks and basically keep playing forever because the rocks keep respawning. That is our second step finished, and we have a fun and playable game.
Okay, bro, you need to cheer up because this is a big deal. What happened to our thing? Does it even download it? desktop we have that. Yes, we have Steam runtime, guys. We have Steam runtime. Yeah, we have Steam runtime. Sorry, I have to switch back between playing the game and doing all this stuff. Okay, I don't want it here. We are getting Linux deploy app image. Got it. See, this is another thing that I wanted to share. Basically, we can export it to HTML5. Okay. Once we do that, once we export it to HTML5, we will be essentially be able to render and play our game via a web browser. This is a huge deal for actually the game of Daksh, because we want to offer this game via any browser, via just the browser. So imagine your browser is the home for your game, which is exported in HTML5, and you can just play the game. You don't need to install any app right away. But yeah, in the future we will also create iOS and Android application for exported into this format and applications. Yeah. That was another reason to choose this as that's it. That's it. My God. Back in Game Maker. I have already signed up, boys. Why do I have to again and again? I have registered, right? Game Maker Studio. Account overview. See, I am signed in, right? Through the same account. It's just 4,000 rupees. Commercial license. We can export to, it's one time fee. This is gold. Okay, so if I'm logged in, why isn't it letting me? Password, I don't remember. I don't want to do Opera login. Why this game maker is using Opera? Sign in successful. Yay! Finally. What did the article say? Oh my god, where is the article? Did I close it? Come on. Yeah. Thank you. Correct. Okay, we are getting something. By clicking this open device manager where you can add one or more automations target. Platform Ubuntu. Okay, preferences. Where is platform package manager? Platform device editor. Where I can find that? Device editor. Default, yeah, the default device will do. Display name, simply name, host name, IP. Okay. Okay, they say it should work now. Oh my god, it's working, guys. Guys, it's working. Guys, it's working. How do I shoot? Guys, do you see? Yeah. My first game. Oh, I click and then it blows. Okay, can play that. Why isn't it stopping? It is just going out of bounds. My god, this is fantastic. It can compile on my laptop. It's just going crazy. I'll just close it here. विषय खोल I love you article.
The problem is that the player can never lose.
I have missed some important step in the player. I have missed some important.
So what we need,
Do you have code for this person? Such a beautiful community. I just love it. I just love it. They have provided the entire article, guys. What else do you want? My sound was not clear. First timers. Oh, it can. Oh, if we hit forward button, it just accelerates. Did you see that? Did you see that? Isn't it beautiful? I'm just spamming, man. I'm just addicted to my own broken game. How ironic. Okay, this is done. Now it's not broken. It's just that I feel the speed is little too fast. If you press and don't leave the up arrow or down arrow, it just accelerates like crazy. Did I stop the simulation? Yeah.
to work on is the collision between the player and the rock and how that defeats the player.
Cool.
Let's go back into the player objects and here add a collision event with the rock. So when the player collides with a rock, this is the event that runs. In the event, let's first create a effect above all objects at the player's location. It'll be a medium-sized effect. And then we destroy the player instance itself.
Wait, brother, you're too fast.
Here, add a collision event.
What are we adding? Collision event?
Let's go back into
object player. Okay. We are in object player. Come on. Collision. big rock. Excuse me, guys. I just don't know how to be on a stream. I'm really sorry. But all these sounds and noises might be irritating you. It would to me.
The player objects, and here add a collision event with the rock. So when the player collides with a rock, this is the event that runs. In the event, let's first create a firework effect above all objects at the player's location. It'll be a medium-sized effect, and then we destroy.
Hey, I want a different color. Yeah.
The player instance itself. Finally, after destroying the player, we are going to set an alarm. So that will be alarm 0, and we are setting it to 120. This means that the alarm 0 event will run 120 frames after this event running, so that's 2 seconds. But this by itself won't work because we are destroying the player, and an instance that exists can't run an alarm. So instead we apply this to obj game.
Now
And
this is something that will come from experience. We are going to apply this to obj game. That's what he said, right?
Object is going to run the alarm for us. An instance that doesn't exist can't run an alarm. So instead we apply this to obj game, and that object is going to run the alarm for us. Now when the alarm event does run, we want the game to restart. So let's open obj game. Here let's add the alarm 0 events, and in the event, let's run this function to restart the room. This should do it, but it won't work right now because obj game isn't actually in the room. So let's open the room, make sure the instances layer is selected, and then place obj game in the room. It doesn't matter
where you keep the obj game, but it matters that you keep it. And this dude will keep it right in the center.
where you put it, it just needs to be in the room. So run the game, run into a rock, you will lose, and 2 seconds later the room will restart. So we now have a game loop. You can play, you can lose, you can...
Oh my god, it's finally complete. It's finally complete. Our beautiful game. Simple game. Okay, I won't brag. But yeah, this is a big start for me. Now I was able to see how to use this. Why did Cooper? Oh, I was just lost. Naturally. Okay. Oh, a beautiful firework. Okay, I'll destroy the rocks. So what if I collide with a small rock? Still I do? Oh. The bullet should be limited also. Then it will be fun. I just exported this game on my Ubuntu machine, and it is just smooth. It just works right away. Crashed. We should be able to add sound effects to it, isn't it? Like boom. Yeah, so you hear that? Boom. Or like boom. And this is so fun. I'm just getting lost. Maybe we can change the color of the player object also. How we can do that? Edit image. Shall we keep it red? Yuck. My painting is so bad. Can't I just color it? Yay! I'm a genius. It is literally paint. It is literally paint. Okay. Have we changed the color of the arrow? I hopefully say so. We did. Why is it taking so much time? Oh yeah. Yeah. Did you see that? The acceleration is too glidey. Glidey? Is it that even a word? But yeah, this is my first game. And I am losing it badly, but I am happy because I created it. Man, this was such a great experience. Okay, need to stop right now.
Let's play again.
Let's complete the video and we'll stop.
And so on. And we're at a point where you can say that the game is finished. But it's actually not that rewarding because you can't see how many rocks you've destroyed. So before we finish off the video for good, let's quickly add a score system. Let's open obj game and here add the create events. Here let's create a variable.
Obj game create
game and here add the creative events. Here let's create a variable called points and set it to 0. Now before we increase this value when you destroy a rock, let's make sure that this is drawn on the screen. So go ahead and add the draw GUI event. This is where you can draw anything directly to the screen, so it acts like a HUD. So I'll use this function to draw the points value to the screen. At 10 by 10. So in the game it'll appear on screen, but we haven't programmed it to change yet. For that, let's go into obj rock and open its collision event with obj bullet. This is where you destroy a rock, so it makes sense that you would also get the score here. So here let's add this, but we haven't programmed its collision event with obj bullet. This is where you destroy a rock, so it makes sense that you would also get the score here. So here let's add this to increase the points variable by 50 to give the player some score. But of course this variable was not created in the rock object. It was created in obj game. That object owns this variable, so we're going to mention the name of that object before the variable itself, and this is how we can actually change that variable. And that should do it. Run the game, and when you destroy a rock, you get some score that you can see the room will restart. So we now have a game loop. You can play, you can lose, you can play again, and so on. And we're at a point where you can say that the game is finished. But it's actually not that rewarding because you can't see how many rocks you've destroyed. So before we finish off the video for good, let's quickly add a score system. Let's open obj game and here add the create event. Here let's create a variable called points and set it to 0. Now before we increase this value, when you destroy a rock, let's make sure that this is drawn on the screen. So go ahead and add the draw GUI event. This is where you can draw anything directly to the screen, so it acts like a HUD. So I'll use this function to draw the points value to the screen at 10 by 10. So in the game it'll appear on screen, but we haven't programmed it to change yet. For that, let's go into obj rock and open its collision event with obj bullet. This is where you destroy a rock, so it makes sense that you would also get the score here. So here let's add this to increase the points variable by 50 to give the player some score. But of course this variable was not created in the rock object. It was created in obj game. That object owns this variable, so we're going to mention the name of that object before the variable itself, and this is how we can actually change that variable. And that should do it. Run the game, and when you destroy a rock, you get some score that you can see up here. When you lose, the score resets and you start again from 0.
Again, I muted my sound. Okay. See, the game is completed, but we are trying to troubleshoot this build. Why it's not building, which was building a few minutes before. Find, please help me. No, I just do this in my terminal. Somewhere I have messed up the logic. That is what I feel, because of which this error is not at all willing to go. That is a good solution, but how do I do that? Okay, it is saved in what was the game maker's thing? Okay, there is something called as clean. And it beautifully works. Yes, I love you, game maker. So guys, we officially are able to play Space Rocks. Wait. Oh yeah, I can move. Yeah. I am getting a cute. You see right here, I am getting a point also. Finally. Yeah, I can move around. But yeah, this is so uncontrolled, uncomfortable movement. But yeah, it's a game, man. It's a game. Can't you see? This is a fantastic start. Not to brag. It's kinda lame. But yeah, I'm learning. And let's see, where can I take this? It would be best if we had left and right controls, you know, because now left and right are just for direction. I would increase the direction, the way it moves, you know. Let's see how many points I can score. The thing is, don't go outside the canvas. It's really unpredictable. Can I hit 1000? Definitely. Okay, not bad. 1000 is. So this was my first game. Let me be on the side and let the man speak, because he helped me build this.
With that, our game is do it. Run the game, and when you destroy a rock, you get some score that you can see up here. When you lose, the score resets and you start again from 0. And with that, our game is completely finished. You can now go in and change any of the values that we entered, or change any of the sprites to make this game your own.
Beautiful.
Now to share your game with your friends on GX Games, watch this video. And to make your first multiplayer game in 15 minutes, watch this one. And I will see you in the next video.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. I am grateful for this. I really am grateful for this. So with that, let's wrap up our 2-hour stream. Almost 2 hour with me sneezing all over the place. But yeah, streaming is fun and I'm really going to enjoy it. Game Maker Studio is fantastic. I just built my first game. Wow. Shambho. So see you in the next stream, and I'll probably be building that multiplayer game in the next stream that he showed. And hopefully the third video will be exporting one of these games to GX Games. And no, before that I will tweak these games myself, maybe create artifacts or something like that. And this is going to be wonderful. I got the first step clear. This is the first milestone. So yeah, thank you very much for being with me, and see you in the next stream. Bye bye.